everyone, this is Sam, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Guild Wars 2 Secrets of the Obscure. Indeed, the expansion pack is only about 3 weeks away, and I want to give you guys some of my thoughts of it. So there are two things I want to talk about today, the first one being Guild Wars 2 Secrets of the Obscure in itself, and the second one being the relics that are gonna come around with Guild Wars 2 Secrets of the Obscure. But first, before that, let's have a word about our... Just kidding, there is no sponsor to this video. However, there is one thing you can do right now if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, and that is going over to your Amazon Prime Gaming page. Right now there is a die kit pack that is available, and you can just copy the code, go over to your Aeronet account page and paste it in the Redeem a Code window. I have already done it and I have gotten quite shite dies, to be honest. RNG is never on my side, so let's have a look at what I got my hands on. Please excuse all the loot from opening my Zephyrit boxes. We have gotten these 2 dice that were kinda bad, and then these 3 dice that were kinda alright. Seeing as I already have them unlocked, I'll be giving them away whenever I go live next. That is it for the Amazon Prime Gaming section, and now we're gonna go back to talk about Secrets of the Obscure, the different price points for the expansion packs, and what you should be doing depending on the pack you got. So back to the game page, we can go to the upgrade now, and we are taken over to the buying page for Guild Wars 2 Secrets of the Obscure. If you are coming to Guild Wars 2 for the very first time, you might want to grab a hold of the previous 3 expansion packs. For 50 euros, that's definitely worth it. You get a lot of elite specializations, which are the upgrades over the existing classes from the base game, so definitely something you should be getting your hands on. Now let's have a look at the price points for Secrets of the Obscure. It's way cheaper than the other expansions that we had in the past. However, the maximum value pack is still at a pretty high price point. We're going to compare all 3 packs so you can get the best idea of that, and in my opinion, if you are not interested in the fluff of the feathered raptor skin and the emote, definitely don't go for the medium price point pack. The reason behind that is that these are mostly things that you're going to be able to get in the gem store, the character slots and the identity repair kits, and the skins are probably going to be unlockable in some other way in the future. So overall, that's not something you're really going to get a lot of value out of. If none of that interests you, definitely go for the small pack. However, if you were considering getting these and were oogling the ultimate pack, now there is something worth it, and that's the 4K gems. Usually if you want to buy 4K gems, that comes at a 50 euro price point, because we still don't have sales on gem cards, and we don't have partner links for buying gems in game, which I wish we did, because that would be amazing for both the partners and for Aeronet themselves. I'm still pitching that idea, it's still not working, I'm not giving up. But if you are getting the 4K gems, basically everything else becomes free over here, so that's quite alright then. And additional character slot can bring in quite a bit of value. We already made videos about that. If you have more characters, you can put them on gathering spots, on chest spots, smorgold. Just gotta log in, go through the characters, a little bit of effort, kinda okay return, so that's something you should be considering. Now, what should you be doing with your 4K gems? There are a lot of pretty good deals in the gem store, and we're gonna be talking about them. But, as you know, I already had a video on what is worth having in the gem store tier list. I'm gonna be linking this one in a pinned comment, naturally. As we go over back to the gem store, we can scroll through all the tables over there, and we definitely don't want to have a look at what's over there. So that's mostly appearances, some tools, and fluff. So that's not something you should be going for if your account isn't already at a proper level of quality of life. You want to go to the utility page instead, and the first thing you'll get is one of the convenience areas. What you can see here, called passes, pass bundles, are basically items that allow you to go to a convenience area which is separate from the open world of Guild Wars 2. So usually these have fewer players, better loading times, less textures to load as well. So they make for a very good place if you want to hang out, trade, have access to a lot of convenience NPCs, convenience vendors, etc. So naturally, I would say that the Mistlock Sanctuary passkey is the better one. This one gives you access, on top of everything else, to the fractals of the mist. So you don't have to walk around throughout Lion's Arch and all of that. Mistlock Sanctuary passkey is the top tier pass. Beyond that, you can go for a pass where there is very few people to have the best loading times if you want to just manage your inventory, your game, your trading post, whatever. I would vouch for the Lava Lounge pass. That one, pretty good. And then finally, I would say the Captain's Airship. Not many people on this one. It's a bit less convenient than the other ones, but you get the huge advantage that it's very, very light on textures. So not much to load, very fast. Beyond that, what should you be getting? Probably mining tools. Mining tools are quite good, and obviously having already purchased them, you can see them, but there are some that give you either extra items or a completely different, unrelated item to the mining or chopping or whatever it is, and that gives you some extra value. Have a look at the glyphs that are contained in before you make your purchase, because it's the glyphs that really make the difference. If you have an upgrade extractor, you can always remove them, move them to another chopping tool, harvesting tool, whatever it is. So you could actually buy multiples of the ones that you find interesting and slot them on a few other tools. Now, if we scroll down a little bit more, I would talk about the Black Lion contracts. So I already have one of them, which is the one that gives me every day this over there, the Black Lion delivery box. And I'm not going to open it, my inventory is already almost full, but you get the idea. This is also something that can bring quite a bit of value. Eventually, it's going to reimburse itself over the longer time, so it is something you can consider if you want to make that extra coin at a very low effort. Now finally, we get to see some appearance packages, not exactly worth it, so instead, I would say, if you are on the gambling side of things, you could definitely go for keys, Black Lion keys, amazing. No, it's actually a very poor idea. I just spent 100 of them trying to get one of the skins. I think it was for the Jade bot. Didn't get it, so I wouldn't advocate for it. Instead, jokes aside, go and have a look at the account upgrades or character upgrades. I'm thinking mostly equipment tabs, build tabs. If you have one main character that you play above everything else, that's something to consider. So here, for example, I have multiple equipment tabs, 6 of them. Same for the build tabs, got 7 of them, because this is the character I play the most, and it makes it so much better, not having to relog to another character, not having to try and move my build around from the build bar over there. That is something you should consider. And with this, your 4K gems are probably already spent, so nothing more to add on this point. I think we're onto something. And now, it's going to be time to talk about the relics. So for this, we will be using the blog post that Ardennet made about a week ago. Now, how do relics work? They're coming to replace the runes, so we're going to get an extra slot on our hero tab where we're going to have a relic. And that is going to change everything about the runes. For instance, here I have the superior rune of the Scholar, and as you can see, the 5 steps before are purely stat based, and on my final step I have extra ferocity and an increased strike damage by 5% when my health is above 90%. That final effect is going to be removed. I'm only going to keep the start part. Hopefully Ardennet tries and rebalance it a little bit so that the runes are actually going to give you more than just these stats that we have currently, but nothing is too sure about that, and we're going to have to wait for Soto until we're fixed. But that extra effect is going to become a relic, and the best way to explore what relics do is to go over to the Guild Wars 2 page. We're going to zoom it in a little to make it easier to read. Let's get on with it. Today we're excited to share details about relics, so that's quite nice. and they wanted to improve core systems and features. So I guess this is going to be accessible to everyone, not just people with Secrets of the Obscure, which would make a lot of sense because otherwise we would have to manage two different kinds of systems. So they want to improve on what we have because of course some of the runes are underused, some of the runes are overused, and it would be better if we have something that is a little bit more leveled across the board. We're gonna have core and expansion relics. So 40 core relics, I believe that covers most of the rune sets. 12 expansion relics. I don't know if these are gonna be specific to Soto, or if they are also revisiting the runes that we were getting on the previous expansion packs as well. I'm thinking the Elite Specialization rules, but also some specific ones that we got from End of Dragons, like I think it was Exuberance, the one that gives you the boon that replaced Resolution, I think it was. So nothing too sure about what is being replaced, what is being overhauled, but this is the feature to look out for. This is going to be an occasion to make gold as well as an occasion to further improve on theory crafting. Naturally, I'm going to have a look at what I can do with the Ranger when that releases. So each character of level 60 or above will receive a relic chest to get started in the new system with a choice of 3 core relics. That is quite good. So by core relic, for instance here, we have the relic of the Zephyrit, which summons crystals that apply protection and resolution after using an elite skill. That is already different from what the superior rune of the Zephyrit was doing on its last effect, so we can expect that they are actually reworking these and improving on them. So we're not simply gonna have a split between the previous runes on what stays on the runes and what comes to the relic, but instead whole new relics which are gonna change the game all around for us. So that is one thing I am keeping my eyes on. At release, we're going to be able to identify the relics that are truly going to be awesome from the ones that are going to be kind of average. So definitely log in, have a look, maybe start purchasing either the relics or start purchasing the items that we need to make the relics, as they did mention it was going to be related to a crafting system. So here is an expansion relic to have a look at. Wizard's Tower. After using an elite skill, shield yourself with a projectile reflecting barrier while summoning a wave that pulls enemies towards you. That is actually kinda strong. I can see this having a lot of power in PvP to give reflection to a character that otherwise doesn't have it in their build. So we're gonna have opportunities for counterplay compared to builds that were existing previously, and that is something that I'm really looking forward to. So, legendary runes and relics, that is a very important point, because some players already crafted a full set of legendary runes and do not want to lose what they worked so hard for. Legendary runes made it possible for you to store in the armory and use on every single one of your characters regardless of gear tier and of class. So having a full set of legendary runes was definitely worth it, having either 6 or 7 if you wanted to do only the armor or the armor plus the underwater helmet. So some of the functionality of legendary runes are going to move to a new relic slot. They will no longer have the 6-tier bonus effect, as we expected, but will retain the attribute swapping flexibility, so that's cool, and they still remain relevant. And the legendary relics are going to be freely swappable between the various relic effects. If you have already crafted your legendary runes, you will be compensated with significant progress towards unlocking them. So I guess there is going to be a 2-step things to making the legendary relics, probably in the form of a collection or an achievement that you need to work towards, and beyond that some crafting in a Mystic Forge. So once again, something to look for at release. And the theory crafting is the last part I'm mentioning. We'll have to wait for August 22 to have more look at that. But for now, what we can try and make theories about is what's going to be used in the making of the relics. We currently have a lot of craftable and crafting items that are underused. In Gears 2, I'm thinking about the vials of power. We're also having quite a few armor crafting related materials that are currently not used. And on top of that, we have a lot of tier 1 to tier 6 materials that are dirt cheap. So naturally, Guild Wars 2 right now has an occasion to create a pretty good sink to get rid of these items, and that is something I am looking forward to, because with this, if it's properly shipped, we might finally have a bit of a fix to the economy, provided of course they don't make the crafting entirely reliant on the X-Pack, which of course for the core relics they cannot do. So definitely have a look at your bank, material storage, look for items that are not used right now, don't sell them, wait until the expansion, it's only 3 weeks away, so you can still keep some items to you, wait until the expansion to liquidate them if they're not being used, or instead hold on to them if they prove to be useful in the relic crafting. And with this, that's gonna be it for this video. I'm happy to have shared my thoughts on what you should be doing to prepare for Guild Wars 2 Secrets of the Obscure and what I think about the new relics. Now let's head over to the comment section to try and debate your ideas on the items that could be used for this. I already have a few in mind and I might just be sharing them. And now I wish every single one of you some happy trading and to get rich.